Hey my loves, it's your girl Stripe back on the Ghetto Gaming channel with a new cast video, and today you already know who I'm going to be making the Watersons. But for those of you who don't actually know where the Watersons are from the iconic child show Amazing World of Gumball. Now this child, I literally grew up with it. It first aired in 2011, and when I was doing my research I just realized that it ended in 2019 and it had 6 seasons. When I tell you this show, every now and again I still go and I go back and I watch this show because it's so iconic, it's so memorable, and it's something that you can never forget. Now, this show is about a 12-year-old cat named Gumball who lives his life to the fullest. It involves love, drama, stupidity, basically most of the episodes, and they just do what they have to do. They enjoy life and they just have fun, really. If realistically, I wish I was living their life at the age of 12. They might have not been the richest family, but they definitely had fun with the means that they had. So the first sim that I'm going to be creating is Richard Waterson. Now, Richard is Gumball, Darwin, Anais, however you like to say it. He is their father. He is also the wife to Nicole Waterson. Now, I would like to say that even though he is like their father and he is there a lot, I would like to say he is a supporting character. Although there are a few episodes when he is the main feature, I don't think there's many where he is the main feature. Now, his hobbies consist of eating, being gluttonous, taking naps, and it's so weird because all the time he's in like a suit kind of, but he doesn't have a job, and when he does get a job he gets fired quite quickly. And I think there was only one episode when he did actively go and try and get a job, and because it was so out of the ordinary, literally the universe fell apart. Now, it says online that his skills are that he has a building skill, a driving skill, a guitar skill, a serenade skill, enhanced strength, and reality destruction if he gets a job. Okay, that's what I mentioned earlier. Realistically, I cannot recall any of these skills when I was watching it, even though it was a long time ago. When I was watching this, I think the only skill that I would say he kind of had was enhanced strength, and that was when he literally didn't eat, or someone was cooking food and they didn't want him there. He would literally turn into the Hulk. It was actually wild. Now, for the Sims traits that I gave Richard Waterson, I gave him that I believe it is that he wants like a big family, or he just wants to take care of his family, because realistically in the show he has no aspirations and no goals. He just does not want to go hungry. I put him as childish, lazy, and gluttonous because that is basically a description of him throughout the whole show. He's very immature. I know Nicole Waterson, his wife, she has a lot of issues because she kind of wished that he would help out more because they do struggle on the financial side. But Richard is very happy to be doing nothing, sitting in front of the TV, and yeah, he's considered being a dim-witted father. He also won an award for being probably like the most laziest man. So whilst creating Richard Waterson, I decided that in the show he is meant to be considered a larger man. So I decided to find a body preset that was kind of like a dad bod, because I know cartoons do like to overemphasize things. So I decided that I would give him a dad bod on the larger side. Now with this suit, when I did try an experiment to give him an everyday suit, it just looked too formal for Richard Waterson, so I kind of gave him like a little top with a cardigan that was just already put together, and I believe I gave him pants as well, formal pants, but because the way it's styled, it looked a little bit more casual. Now, some people would consider Richard Waterson to not be a good role model to his children, because he gives bad advice. He just lets them do what he wants. Gumball and Darwin and also Anais, they all know that if they go up to Richard, he'll be like, yeah, do what you want, because he's very free will. I would want to say that he's extremely kind though, and he hates saying no to them. I believe there was actually an episode where he had to say no to them, and it was literally a disaster. It ended up, I believe, in a house party at their house, and he just couldn't say no to his children, and people started to take advantage of him. I believe he's such like a fun, loving, adorable teddy bear. He definitely loves his family. He loves his mother as well, even though she can be a bit shady to Nicole Waterson. But we can't pick and choose, okay? Everyone always has their own flaws. And also he actually bought my favorite character, but we are gonna get onto him later on because he has his own story in himself. So, from my recollection, I'm going to tell you the story of how Nicole Waterson and I was going to call him Roberto for a second. I don't know where that came from. Richard Waterson met. Now, this is from my memory. Please correct me if I am wrong. And yeah, and I will correct myself. But I believe that they met when they were younger. Now, Nicole Waterson, her parents were so extremely strict on her, which is why I gave her the overachiever. Her parents were like, girl, you need to aim for the highest. They put her in every club. They put her in every single class. They wanted Nicole Waterson to be a lawyer, just be the top. Like, they were very they were a lot of pressure on Nicole Waterson. So naturally she became uptight because of her parents. She never really got the affection that she wanted from her parents. Now, I believe there's an episode on this where she was actually meant to be going to a karate tournament, and for some reason she was extremely late to it and she couldn't get to there on time. Now, when she got to she got lost because she couldn't find out where the karate tournament was. Now, I don't know why her parents didn't take her. It's kind of a weird story, but this is what I remember from it. The episode could have maybe explained it better. But then when she gets lost, she finds herself in the woods, and she realizes she's too late, and there in the woods is Richard Waterson. I believe he's making a fool of himself. He's not as uptight as the people who are around Nicole Waterson at all. He's very chill, he's fluffy, he's loving, and he shows Nicole what love truly is. He makes Nicole laugh, and even though they are polar opposites, they attract. Now, I believe that they started dating. Nicole's parents didn't really approve of their relationship. I believe that they wanted her to marry up to like a mayor, a lawyer, the president, anyone better than Richard Waterson. Then I believe they ran away, and then that's when they had Gumball. Now, I could be totally incorrect, but I believe there was an episode on this, so this is all from memory. So let's get into Nicole Waterson's personality type. So oh yes, so actually Nicole Waterson's name is actually Dr. Nicole Waterson. Now you're probably thinking, what do you mean doctor? Doctor is her literal first name. There was an episode on this. It was actually quite wild. Her parents really wanted her to achieve and be the greatest, and they put so much pressure on her that they named her first name Doctor. Like, can you believe that? That is so wild. Now, she worked at the company Rainbow Employee. Now, she is the boss queen. So the traits that I gave her were the hot-headed trait, the family-oriented trait, because one thing about her, she will protect her kids, and she's basically mother bear. She is an overachiever, but that's because that's like a toxic trait that she was kind of pushed onto her by her parents. And I put as her aspiration that she wants her family to achieve in life. because there are a few episodes where she does try and push her children to reach for the stars, and sometimes it can be unhealthy because that's just a toxic trait that she's learned from her parents. But she does try to fill her household with love, which I feel like she does a great job at it. Now, it says online that her powers and skills is that she's highly intelligent, she's a master at manipulation, she has enhanced strength, enhanced speed, enhanced stamina, enhanced agility, enhanced manipulation, dexterity with claws and teeth, and a master at martial arts. Now her character in The Amazing World of Gumball, she's a cat, and I don't know if I mentioned this before, but Richard is actually a rabbit as well. But when it comes to Richard, as I said before, the kids will walk all over Richard. But when it comes to Nicole Waterson, if Nicole says something, when I tell you, it's going to happen, and if it doesn't happen, it's off with their heads. Gumball Waterson, same with Darwin and Anais, they fear her to the max, because even though she would never hurt them, the fear that she has installed in them is enough to be like, I know my mom can punch through walls and beat somebody up, so there's no way I'm getting on her bad side. Even though she's family oriented and she would never do anything to harm her children, she just has that natural motherly instinct to protect and provide for her family, which is why she works so hard. Now, sometimes she does complain about Richard not having a job, but at the end of the day, she does what she needs to do. So sometimes she can get easily stressed and become like kind of like a control freak when things aren't done when she gets home, but that's kind of understandable. No, when you work really hard and it comes time for you to come home and you just see everything a mess, you're just like, what are you guys doing? Especially when your husband works from home, when your husband stays at home, it can get extremely agitating. Okay, guys, so I just fact checked and it said that her parents actually were driving her to her karate championship tournament, but there was loads of traffic, so she went and ran. Okay, because I knew that story wasn't making sense in my head, so at least I was able to clear it up. So when making Nicole Waterson, if you guys haven't noticed already, I think the skin that I initially had her that kind of made her look a little bit more useful, it kind of automatically came off, or maybe I just clicked something. So she has kind of not weary eyes, but kind of like eye bags. And at first I kind of wanted to go back because she is, I want to say she was a young mum, but I'm not 100% sure. It's not, if it is clarified, I can't quite remember, but I decided to keep it because she does get stressed extremely easy because she works so hard. There have been a few episodes where she's felt like there's injustice in her workplace because she'll work 50 times hard and they just won't see her. So sometimes she feels like she has to do things to be seen. Sometimes she uses her temper as a way to be seen by others, which isn't necessarily a healthy trait, but you know what, it is what it is. I would say she has a great relationship with all of her children. I feel like in a lot of the episodes when they do go south, she holds accountability, and she's like, okay, I don't like what you did, but also at the same time, the way that I reacted wasn't justified, which I really love about Nicole Waterson. She will do the wildest stuff, but then at the same time, she'll be like, okay, you know what? I need to cool down. Now, this is not all the case. Like when it comes to protecting her children, she will go and fight and beat up a T-Rex. Like when I tell you, Nicole Waterson is the OG mother bear. Like she knows what is going on. let me introduce you to the main character. I would like to say the main character, but there are a few episodes where he isn't the main character. But the person who the series is named after, Amazing World of Gumball, yes, it is Gumball Waterson. Now, his full name is actually not Gumball. His first name is not Gumball, sorry. His first name is actually Zachary, and then his middle name is Christopher Waterson. Can you believe that? Now, there is an episode for those of you who are like, when was his name Zachary? Now, for those of you who haven't watched that episode, it's called, I believe, The Name. And he finds out that actually his first name is Zachary, and then he starts to lose Gumball, which I think is a really cool episode. So Gumball Waterson, he is excitable, he can't keep still, he literally is all over the place. He's the reason why I love this show so much. The way he's so impulsive, the way he does stuff. And I feel like one thing about Gumball Waterson is, oh yeah, by the way, it said in the description that Gumball Waterson has a big head, so if you see me editing his head massive, that is why. I feel like even though they want to display Gumball as stupid, I feel like he's quite intelligent. The way he will find unique ways to do things is so inspiring to me. Can I say that? Yes. He's also, I love the fact that how no matter how poor they are, I know a lot of TV shows, when they're poor, the children are extremely upset, they find ways to make money, or there's a lot of discussion about their money, about being broke. What I love about Gumball Waterson is that he accepts and he knows that they are not financially in the best place, but that doesn't stop him from living life how he wants to. It doesn't stop him from having fun, and it just doesn't stop him from doing what he wants. And he doesn't go and splurge on money either. He takes in that he can't afford many things, and he just works with it, like how they created their own board game out of, I believe it was trash, but I could be wrong. And I think that's what I love about Gumball. Now, Gumball is in elementary, which for those of you who are in the UK or other places, I believe is primary school. So it could be from the age of 6 to like 10, but guys, I could be extremely wrong. My fellow Americans who are watching this, please tell me what ages elementary is from, but I believe that's the UK equivalent to primary school. So he's quite young, which is why he brings a lot of joy to this show. Now, his tag team person is Darwin, but we'll get into Darwin. Darwin is personally my favorite character. Now, his skills is that he is a master in manipulation. He's mischievous, durable. He can easily escape from near-death experiences. He is a cat in the show, but he also resembles his mum a lot. So I try to keep a lot of his mum's features whilst creating Gumball. Let me know if I actually achieved that, or let me know if I was a little bit off. I try to do an even blend, but still more to the dad's side. He's also, apparently it says online that he has minor fighting skills, but I want to change that to 0. Like, this man, he always finds a scapegoat. He always finds someone else to do it for him. That's what I'm saying. He's extremely intelligent. He's good at archery, apparently. Regeneration, yes, I will agree with that one. He's good at annoying others, and pilotancy. Now, I do not know what that is, but he loves playing video games and dating Penny. Now, for those of you who don't know, Penny is I want to consider his girlfriend, although there has been very shaky moments when they've been so awkward around each other, but either way, I definitely would ship them. And I think his goals really is to be with Penny. I don't think there's anything else he would rather be, or anything else he'd want to do, and also just to have fun and enjoy life. So next we have Darwin. Now, as you can see, I did try to do a mermaid. I didn't realize that children could be mermaid, but then the little mermaid icon actually stayed. So I was like, you know what? That's cool. And I just made Darwin a child of the ocean. Now, Darwin is not their biological son. So basically, Richard Waterson went to this magical truck. Now, the rules of this truck is there's no returns. It's in a parking lot, and basically they just sell magical objects that I believe come and bite you back, because I know they bought a turtle that basically just wanted to kill them all. I'm not quite sure. It was just an evil turtle. Either way, so Richard Waterson went to this truck because so Gumball kept having fish, and he was extremely stupid, so he would always kill all of his fish. Now, instead of teaching Gumball about like the process of life and death, Nicole and Richard didn't want to, in quotations, kind of mess him up with the death of his goldfish, so they would constantly go and buy goldfish to replace his original goldfish. I want to say they called him Bubbles, but I could be wrong. So one day, basically Richard Waterson, like, at one point they had just bought all the goldfish. There was literally no more, and Gumball had killed all of them. So he went in the car park and he found that mystery van, and then the mystery van sold him the fish, and he was like, okay, cool. Now Gumball was very confused, because he's like, okay, this fish, I don't know if you could tell the difference between their looks, but Darwin was a little bit shy, and he just wanted to connect with Darwin. Eventually, Gumball and Darwin began to connect. They, like none of his other fish, Gumball and Darwin would play together, and Darwin began to speak and whisper to each other, and they really became like brothers, although Darwin was still in a fishbowl. Now, fast forward, I think they were playing a game, Gumball and Darwin, and he basically had to pretend to be dead. Now, Nicole saw the fish and she was like, oh no, not again. So she flushed Darwin down the toilet, and Gumball was like, no, we were playing a game. So Darwin ended up in the sewers. Now, this episode is literally my favorite episode, because Darwin finds his way back to Gumball. He grows legs because of the power of love. It's such a cute episode about how love really changes everything, and it's not just like love in a relationship. It's really like brotherly and platonic love, about like caring about others. And also Darwin is basically, I would say he is literally my favorite character. He brings so much light and optimism. He's so adorable. Everyone loves Darwin because he's so well mannered. And also you would never tell that he's adopted. I know he's a fish and they're rabbits and cats, but realistically, unless they told me, I would assume that he was their biological son. They literally all love and take care of Darwin. Darwin is now a fish who can walk and breathe on water, and he's really like he's an addition of their family. I feel like their family would be so incomplete with Darwin and his personality. He's just so fun loving. He's obviously I made him a child of the ocean because he was a fish. I really would have loved for him to be a child mermaid, but you know what, we can't have it all, okay? Now, Darwin is also a student at the elementary. He's good at swimming, obviously. He has enhanced agility. He's durable, and he just loves hanging out with Gumball because that's really his best friend. Now let's go on to Baby Ananias. Okay guys, I feel like that is my toxic trait. I love calling toddlers baby and then their name. Now, and Anais, or Anais, she is the smartest of them all. She is the youngest. Now, she does actually go to the same school as Gumball and Darwin, but she is meant to be noticeably younger than Gumball and Darwin, which is why I made her toddler instead of like a short child. Now, Anais, when she was born, she didn't actually really like Gumball and Darwin. She wanted her parents to herself. There's also a clip where she actually renamed, I think they were going to call her Anais with two N's, and she actually rubbed that out and made her name Anais with one N. Now, she is literally like, she has the brains for this whole family. I think she does her mom's taxes. Now, I could have got that from somewhere else, but I believe that is what she does. She's extremely intelligent, she's independent, but she also is socially awkward, which is also a major thing when she ages up throughout the series. Now, although she is extremely intelligent, she still has her childish traits. For example, when she was born, she literally hated Gumball and Darwin. Now, I didn't know if it was because of their connection or what, but she also wanted her parents all to herself. So she would play the innocent child around her parents, but then she would like plot against Gumball and Darwin. She would try and kill them. She would try and get them in trouble, want to make them run away. Like, she was basically the most intelligent kid because she thought that Gumball and Darwin were a threat. So she definitely takes traits from her mother, but she does resemble her father because in the show, she looks like a rabbit. She actually looks like her grandma, which is Richard's mum. Her grandma is very short and she's also a rabbit, so I would say that she resembles her grandma quite a bit. I would say the one thing about Anais, I wish she kind of had a more consistent friend, or I wish that she had like maybe a sibling or something like that, because although she's a part of Gumball and Darwin's like they're all siblings, Gumball and Darwin will die for her, which they showed her when she was trying to kill her, which is why she stopped trying to kill them. But you can tell that she kind of feels out of the mix. She kind of feels left out, especially because they're really extremely dumb, her dad and her siblings. She kind of feels like, well, I wish I was dumb so I could hang out with them. Like, she always feels left out, which is why I feel like she is started to gain being socially awkward, because she could see like there was a clear gap between her and those around her. Even sometimes with her and her mum treats her different because her mum knows that there's way more potential with Anais, but Anais just doesn't want the potential only. She wants to have fun. So I feel like I really wish that she had like maybe a friend. Well, the friend that she does have is Daisy the donkey, which is a little teddy bear, and also her imaginary friend. Like, I believe she can imagine that Daisy does a lot of stuff with her. So her goal is to get a friend. I feel like her intelligence has nothing to do with it. I feel like she kind of believes that her intelligence was a bit of a curse, especially since she was born with a family who aren't quite as intelligent as she is. She is also extremely sassy and she knows how to get what she wants. Now, I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed learning about the amazing world of Gumball and also enjoyed me creating these characters. I want you guys to let me know, like, did I nail it? Did I get it on point? I feel like Anais was probably the most accurate character, and maybe Nicole Waterson. But I'll see you next time.